Hi, Colorblind Architect here, and Apple just announced the new MacBook Pro, the M4 variant, and today I just thought I'd drop a quick little video to discuss what I see as kind of the key things for architects looking at potentially upgrading. Mostly if you're using ArchiCAD or Vectorworks or several other apps, these are going to be great options for you. So let's just go through some of the things that the Apple announcement revealed. First, obviously, there's the M4 chip. I do not recommend the M4 chip for architects necessarily. It's great for most people, but for an architect, if you're going to be using something like ArchiCAD or Vectorworks, you're going to need a lot more power. So let's move on to the M4 Pro. Now, so this is where it's really exciting. So if you look at the screen here, we've got 14 core CPU, 10 performance cores, and 4 efficiency cores. So this is a dramatic improvement. Not only is it a faster machine, but we're getting more performance cores for the actual chip. And then if you keep going, look at this 20 core GPU. That's, so there's a 20 core GPU, so that's great. And ever since M3 Pro and M3 Max came out, these GPU cores, they are coming with the real-time ray tracing capability. Unfortunately, most software is not actually taking advantage of this, but that's okay. And let's look at some of the things that they talked about. They talked about Autodesk Fusion. They talked about um, rendering in Blender, and so 3D visualization with the M4 Pro. You compare it to the M1 Pro. They're claiming it's 3 times faster. Now, if you were like me and you got an M1 chip, because when the Apple Silicon Macs first came out, this was such a huge improvement over the Intel chips, and so it was such a great thing to upgrade to. But now we've gone a few years. We have 3 more generations. So the M2 and the M3, they were marginal improvements, and so if you hadn't already upgraded from the Intel chip to um, the the Apple Silicon chips, then obviously any of these, the M1, M2, M3, or M4, they're all fantastic. But if you're like me and you're on the M1 Max, um, and you're looking at a 3 times faster 3D visualization, this is now looking like an actual reason to upgrade. Now, okay, so now they're also talking about Apple Intelligence. And so on the Apple Intelligence, you can, like the M1 Max, I mean, any of the M1 chips are going to be able to do this as well. So don't be caught by the glamorous advertising. Um, let's be honest, it's going to work. But the difference is with the M4 chip, it is going to dramatically improve the speed and the capability of the Apple Intelligence. Now, I've been beta testing the Apple Intelligence, and maybe I'll do a video about it at some point. But honestly, it's okay. I mean, I think the thing that's nicest for me is I'm seeing little summaries, little executive summaries of emails in the header bar of Mac Mail. Uh, that's kind of nice. It's helpful, but definitely not something that I would spend money on. So I could care less about the Apple Intelligence stuff, to be quite honest. It's kind of dumb. All right, now on to the big show, the M4 Max. This is the really exciting part of the presentation. Now, let's take a look at this. So now we're moving to 16 core CPU. It's 12 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. Now, if you're already on the M3 Max, you already have this. But if you're moving up from the M1 or the M2, this is an improvement. Now, if we move on to the GPUs, same thing. We're not really improving on what was there before with the M3. However, what you are moving to with the M1 or M2 chips up to the M4 Max is the hardware accelerated mesh shading, the 2x faster ray tracing acceleration. So this is real-time ray tracing, and this is a 40-core GPU. So this is a dramatic improvement. And then if we continue on, another thing that's available going from the M1 Max to the M3 or M4s, is that you can now upgrade from the 64 gigabytes of max RAM to 128 gigs of max RAM. Now, granted, you're going to pay an extra $1,000 over the 64 gigs. So make sure, if you're an architect and you're looking at actually doing this, make sure you actually need it. Okay? So moving on, one of the things that's really exciting is the Thunderbolt 5. All three USB 3 ports on the MacBook Pro are going to be having the Thunderbolt 5 support. Now, one of the other nice things that we saw from the other Mac presentations from earlier this week is that it will actually support 8K displays. So this is really exciting. If you really want the screen real estate, and you have cash to blow on an expensive TV, sure, go for it. But more importantly, you can hook up three full studio displays, which that's fantastic. And then, you know, if you go on in this presentation, let's talk about the actual laptop screen. So the standard brightness on the new laptop screen is being upgraded from 600 nits to 1,000 nits. So this is significantly brighter. And then peak brightness of 1600 nits, just amazing. And then they also have the option now for a new screen coating, which okay, so HDR peak brightness of 1600, and we're gonna go on to the next feature is the upgraded webcam. Now the upgraded webcam, they're moving up to a 12, I think it's a 12 megapixel webcam with center stage, which that is fantastic, because that way, if you're doing a presentation, you're moving around, then the camera will actually pan around. But then, did you see that? Look at this. They also have a smart intelligence. The webcam will actually allow you to display your desktop. Now, if you're an architect, this is a fantastic feature, because now you're going to be able to sketch on paper in front of your clients when you're remote, and they'll be able to see it orthographically rectified from this wide angle webcam of your desktop. This is really cool. It's a feature that Insta360's webcam has been able to do for a couple years now, and now Apple's taking a page out of Insta360 and they're putting it native into the MacBook Pro. This is really exciting for architects. And then another thing is the battery life. So we've got a significantly improved battery life of up to 24 hours of battery life. Now, granted, if you're using ArchiCAD, I'm going to be honest, you're still going to have much shorter battery life than what you would if you're just surfing the web, streaming video, doing stuff like that. But if you're actually working, even though it's not going to be nearly the 24 hours, not even close. I mean, you might get 3 or 4 hours maybe, but it's still a significant improvement over the 2 or 3 hours that you have with the M1 Max MacBook Pro. So that's still great. So altogether, fantastic. Prices are crazy high, um, but they're in line with where they were with the M3 series chips. So if you are going to upgrade, um, like I said, if you're on an M1 series chip, this is worth upgrading. If you're on an Intel chip, this is worth upgrading. If you're on an M2 or M3, maybe you wait a little bit longer. Unless you really need it, this is probably not the upgrade for you. But I think ultimately, this is a really exciting step. They're really pushing the boundaries, and I think this is a great computer. I'm excited to get mine. I already pre-ordered my M4 Max new MacBook in the space black because the space black does look really cool. And so hopefully this has been helpful for you. Again, I'm the Colorblind Architect. Thank you for joining me. Peace out.